So, very familiar deck to what a lot of people have been playing and what you've been seeing on the ladder today, and especially something we've been getting run over by a lot. German US Blitz. So one of the incentives for, I think the big incentives for running United States as your ally in a German Blitzkrieg deck. 109th Combat Engineers to buff your units, not only make them bigger threats, but also harder to kill. 99th Infantry Battalion, just a catch-all, take away problem unit on the other side of the table. Just 2 cost, just generates a ton of tempo. Can put your opponent very far behind. And finally, the M18 HELLCAT. These are the only 6 US cards we're running in this version, in this deck. This is just like one of the best 3-drop Blitz units in the game, frankly. And what's great about it is that it also works with our encirclements. Actually works with our ADLER command vehicles as well. So just a solid 3-drop Blitz tank unit. Other things you could consider running for your ally, if you wanted to be more of a tempo deck, you could run in the half track. If you thought maybe guard units were a problem, you could maybe run these, say, instead of the FLAMMPANZERs to take away, to put them, to generate even more tempo, put them behind on board. Other things you could consider is the Alliance. We've seen some people run. Personally, I'm not a fan of that card in this archetype. I think it's just far too slow and worse than something like Blitzkrieg, because if you're getting more than 2 turns of value out of the Alliance, you were probably going to win that game anyway, and just Blitzkrieg is just far better. I think there's just other things you could be running in that place. And the final thing you could consider running, and I was running for a little bit in this deck, but decided to cut ultimately, was the 1st Marines. I think it's just a great 3-drop as well, kind of like the HELLCAT. Not as good, but I mean it has some things over this, and that it's got higher toughness, and its text box does come into play sometimes when you're in a racing position. But it's a little bit too mid-rangey for a deck like this that's just looking to run people down. But it is a solid unit choice, I would say. Maybe you want to run these instead of the Panzers, or if you don't have the Comet, it might be fine to put in there as kind of like additional worse copies of this card. It also works well with Encirclement for when you take the front line, it helps you keep it because of its 4 toughness. I mean, I think that's it. That's all I'll say about that. So we'll just jump into some games, see if we can climb back up. I'm sure we lost a lot of rank there. Not that I care too much about it, but deck. I'm just gonna update the deck command here, and then we'll jump in. All right. If you can't beat him, join him. Let's see how well we can do with this archetype today. Yeah, smoke screening you for a turn is nice against other burn decks. I think overall, though, I prefer the FLAMMPANZER, and there's just not a lot of room for some of the 3-drops we mentioned, so stick with that. Don't think I want to keep the Blitzkrieg when we're on the draw. That might be okay, but it's hard to... We're probably not taking the front line, so it's not a great card for fighting for the front line. I also wouldn't mind trying to find an infantry unit to pair with this joint operation, which I think we do keep in the dark against a Japan player. Because even doing 1 damage with it, I think would be fine. I think we'll just continue to take damage from that. If he doesn't have a turn 2 play, we'll just run this out. Sure. Kind of using our health total as a bit of a resource here. Fortunately, didn't get to attack with this in the same turn, but I think it's right to play it out. Well, that's pretty good for us, I guess. I think I might do this because then it lets this one-shot that. I'm not sure what I would prefer to see get destroyed here, so I won't play anything in hand yet. If he plays another guard unit like that, we can do the same with this Hellcat. Keep the pressure up. Or we can just kill him. Well, this will bring these up to a 5, so that's not quite enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're not quite enough resources to also do that. So we are... But I think that's what we still need to do. Hopefully the Comet just gets him. Could be running more guard units though. That's interesting. Hey, Sino. No, you haven't missed too much. We started the stream with a Soviet-German mid-range deck that didn't do too well in the face of all of these kind of Blitzkrieg decks this morning, but and now we've just switched over to a German US Blitzkrieg deck. Sorry, did I just click the wrong deck? I think I clicked my Japan one, didn't I? That was kind of reflex because that's my go-to Blitzkrieg. Yeah, that's my go-to aggro deck. Yeah, I did. That's fine. We'll play out the game with it. Yes, yes. Probably if they're running air units, that's not bad. If they're running guard units, this can be a really nasty. I think we keep all of this. This dies to like the 1 damage pings that Britain has, but I think it can generate enough tempo that it's worthwhile keeping. Yeah, nice. Yeah, our deck could have teched a little harder against mid-range. We were just kind of trying a certain build out. It definitely could have thrown away some of my more clunky German top end for things like additional FLAMMPANZERs and sudden strikes, fearing what we'd run into today. So this is a brief interlude. Sorry for people watching the recording on YouTube later. This is obviously not the US or German US Blitzkrieg deck. Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I think we want to kill that, move this up. And then next turn we can FLAMMPANZER this. Because I'm assuming he's not going to trade into this. If he does, then we'll FLAMMPANZER this. What are you? Seems like a Hey, Cola. So yeah, you were super teched against aggro. You're just like, I've had enough of this aggro crap. I guess that doesn't do much, eh? does let me move this up and play something else, I suppose. Which I guess is fine with this Blitzkrieg in hand. We're gonna be sad if he has shelling, though. Well, we're definitely going to prioritize running units out as opposed to taking the front line with a hand like this. Well, in other words, with a hand that has fast HEINZ in it. Well, now we need to prioritize keeping the enemy board clear. So next turn we're going to fire with this and play the Panzer II-A. Yeah, we're just going to kill as many things as we can. Oh, he's not tokens. Okay, he's just... Yeah, the draw on the deck exists in the form of 22nd Infantry and Panzer III-H. It tends to be enough card draw for this particular deck. Do I just buff everything? I kind of want to do that. I think I just play this and buff everything. Maybe it's a mistake because he's running German cards too, so he could FLAMMPANZER us. But this way I'll better positioned to fight for the front. Oh, of course. So he's gonna NACHSCHUB into FLAMMPANZER. Yeah, that's fine. So he's gonna get to draw a billion cards this game, but hopefully it doesn't matter. Now we get to start drawing cards. Okay. Oh, that's kind of nice for later. It doesn't really help now. So I guess I can go 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe. It's an unfortunate loss, but it is what it is. I think, no, maybe we do play the autocannon. Well, this is the part where we died a double air blitz, I guess. What a game. What a game. What fun and interesting cards these big burn cards are, eh? These burn orders, they're so fun. I don't think FLAMMPANZER's a problem card, if I'm being honest. I think burn cards are a problem. I think they're too efficient. I think right now, like, joint operation is just one of the more bigger problem cards, honestly. Removal that can then double, like removal that can double as a burn card is just, I think it's proven to be a little bit too versatile, too efficient. I also think NACHSCHUB is probably problematic as well. It's just, it creates far too swingy. Like, the games that it generates are far too swingy. That 3-3 infantry I don't think is that strong, actually. In addition to everything else, maybe, like, it might seem bad, but I think the root of the problem will be things like Air Blitz is a little bit too efficient, and joint operation is far too good, as is, in my opinion. This is a weird start. I'm glad we're facing the AI, because this definitely would have been a losing hand otherwise. Hey, CJ. Yeah, I don't know. Germany, the thing about Germany is that it fits in so many different archetypes, so it's like it's just everywhere. It's just really good Germany's just a really good nation to be running in basically any deck right now. I just think, and the thing is, yeah, I don't think it needs a nerf necessarily as much as like the other nations need a bit of a boost. But it's obviously harder to boost up all the other nations to make them just as playable rather than just nerf Germany into the ground. The thing is, I think Germany's just found, like, all the cards have found, like, they're in a solid place and they can be run in multiple decks. That said, I do think there are some German cards that need nerfing. We were just talking about NACHSCHUB being problematic and NACHSCHUB being problematic, as well as joint operation probably being a bit too good. Maybe FLAMMPANZER's a touch too good. I don't know. I could give or take FLAMMPANZER. FLAMMPANZER's good because, like, yeah. It's just in every deck. It's in every German deck, so it makes it hard to, like, get under what other German decks are doing, and it's really efficient. But it's so pitiful outside of when it's not killing a unit. It's kind of a pitiful card, but I mean, still a 3/4 for 3. You know, like, if that's the floor of the card, that's fine. Its average case scenario is actually pretty good, right? That's what makes it such a good card. I think I mean, I'm not sure what our opponent has in hand, but I don't. Those attacks were questionable. Yeah, it kind of killed Japan aggro, right? This card's disgusting. I think this card needs a rework, or it needs a nerf of some kind. What's the play to win card? The Comet, because it represents long-term damage. Yeah, one credit might be enough. That still might be too weak though, so it might just need a complete rework, like what it actually does. Might need to change. Yeah, cap on the number of triggers per turn would be good too, probably. Awoken Giant in your frontline deck. Yeah. It's probably fine in end of season when you're running into a bunch of other people playing the same thing, right? I'd say most of the time it's kind of questionable running this card in your deck that's usually taking the front line. It's just going to be a dead card a lot of the times, right? Yeah, sure. You have the best draws. I bow down to your godlike draws. I could Comet this, get it down to 1, finish it off, move this up. And then we still have the Whirlwind as a surprise, or I could just play the Whirlwind. Shoot, they all shoot this, and then a bunch of them take the front line. That's probably better with double Blitzkrieg in hand. Thoughts on the cards released so far? I mean, I think they're all... I haven't been following too closely, to be honest. Suffice to say that I'm really excited for tomorrow. It's gonna be a fun couple of streams this week. Wednesday, Thursday. Check for those who didn't know. So I'm off this Friday, unlike usual, but I will be, to make up for it, I am streaming Tuesday, Wednesday. Somehow we beat the double 109th Engineers NACHSCHUB draw of that deck. But yeah, I'm going to be streaming 4 hours tomorrow for sure. And then I'm pretty much going to be... I'm streaming at least 4 hours Wednesday campaign games from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Good chance I start a little early and end much later, though. I'm probably going to play all day Wednesday. And then I'm taking the rest of the week off, and then we'll be back to normal schedule starting next week. Looking to stream 2 hours every Monday for 4+ hours every Friday. Big bucks, no bloody sickle. Big bucks, no bloody sickle. Big bucks, no bloody sickle. Ah, he had it. GG. What's he doing? Doesn't he know this is Germany Day? He should be playing German cards only. So close. We need one more unit type. Chances are we're not gonna have them by the time the next turn rolls around. So what do we do here? I guess we can go play this. Shoot you, play you, finish you off. I don't know, pray? Any guard unit but one that took away one of our units would have been fine there. But then again, I guess if he had like the 3-5, he would have played it, and then this would have traded into something. That's an awkward draw. Okay, hopefully he doesn't rip a guard unit off the top. Yeah, personally speaking, I'm looking forward to exploit the gap decks. I want to see what the crazy stuff people come up with that. I'm sure they're going to be mostly in the meme category or in meme territory. They're not going to be very, like, necessarily very playable decks, but they should be fun. And because people will be experimenting a lot at the start of the season, they'll have a better than average win rate at the start of the season. So now's the time. Starting tomorrow, now's the time to play your meme decks, because people will be experimenting with new cards, so their decks won't necessarily be as efficient. Wow, we're running into a lot of AI games today. I'm gonna let this one go. We went into one earlier because I was talking, and I figured I didn't want to wait. Let's just play some games, but now we're gonna wait. Don't think I want two of those. It's probably a little greedy. We're on the draw, so this is kind of speculative. Actually, these are all kind of speculative, I guess. I guess I'll keep these and hope we get some more tanks that we can buff with that. This is definitely our turn 1, and if he lets us, we'll go turn 2, 109th, and to move this up. Sure. Of course, we've run into the Careless Talk deck, and our next 3 draws are things that care about units on the field, so... Well, we're gonna try it. Can't just sit around all day wondering if he's got countermeasures. It's unfortunate because that can trade with what we have. And we're just like running out of cards here because resistance. What fun, interesting games these resistance decks generate. At least he's helping me get my French achievements. Because we know that's the only way I'm playing French cards. So he has missing, I guess. That's a shame. He's either has missing or he's pretending he has missing. I mean, I think we gotta go for it, unfortunately. We just don't have any other outs. If we top deck a Comet, we'll get there. Although, I'll be honest, I've just kind of been blindly milling cards off the top of my deck. I don't even know if Comet's still in there. Mill Comet so I can concede. Can someone tell me that I milled Comet so I can concede? Ah, we can't race that anyway. I don't even know. It needs a nerf because it generates terrible games. I would agree, but it's not because I think it's too strong. I think it just generates some bad gameplay. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's overpowered. It's just bad. Like it generates feel bad gameplay. The game win or lose playing against Resistance is miserable, and from a game design perspective, I think that warrants a change, but yeah, it's not even, yeah, exactly. It was advertised as a milling mechanic, and really all it is a draw denial and resource denial mechanic. Like it's a resource denial mechanic. It denies your draws and it denies your credits. You either have to spend credits to hope that it prevents you from losing your draws, but most of the time you just lose your draws anyway. Maybe I want to keep the removal. I think it just feels bad for all players. New, old, what does it matter? Bad games are bad games. Nobody really wants to play unfun games. So that should enter pinned, yep. And we can play these. Yeah, but even when you're running them over, like, how much fun are you really having playing those decks, right? Get rid of this now. Get rid of you. Fire. Like, I play mostly, like, aggro and, like, mid-range as well. And I can usually get under what the resistance decks are doing, but I still find the gameplay quite miserable. I think we can safely play this out. Like, we get punished if he has, like, double sickle, but... he needs to deal with what we have, like, actually killing him, too. That's nice. Like, what if instead resistance cards got shuffled into your deck, and when you drew them into your hand, they automatically got played, and they said something like, deal 1 damage to your HQ, draw a card. So they wouldn't take away your whatever you would have drawn normally, but they burn you. Like, would that be something that would be, like, more interesting? Just off the top of my head. Like, they're a card that you shuffle into the opponent's deck, and they're essentially a trap. Or they're almost like reverse kamikazes in that way. They just automatically burn you for 1, but they're not going to take away your draw. Obviously, it's no longer a mill mechanic in that case, but... yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. You'd have to find the balance for it for what, to see whether or not it'd be good. I kind of definitely want to keep these two. This might be good if he's playing some clunky, slower, like, deck. And then I didn't care about the Adler command vehicle, wanted something else. Blitzkrieg is, I mean, it could be fine. We want to see more units first. This is like the dream start right here for this deck. And now he's gonna go FLAMMPANZER, and we're gonna cry. We probably still win. We could probably still win from that position, but like that's just let's just move on. You don't play this deck to play long drawn out games. You play this deck to run people down, and if you don't do that, you move on to the next one. Yeah, Legends of Runeterra was what I was thinking about when I was thinking about that mechanic. Although there was another game that used to be popular, used to be good. That was like a few years dead at this point, called Hex Shards of Fate, that had a similar mechanic. And the way it worked is that it shuffled spiders into your deck, and when you drew them, or it shuffled spider eggs into your deck, and when you drew them, it gave the opponent 1/1 unblockable spiders. So slowly the board would get filled with just like these 1/1 units that you couldn't block, slowly killing you. It was kind of neat. Yeah, it was cool. It was competitive without being broken. In fact, all out spider egg decks weren't very good most of the time. You were better off running like control decks that had like a little bit of it in the mix, so that as games would go along, you'd get a few spiders here and there. But I remember the all out spider strategies were never good, so they never felt overly oppressive. And because you were giving them units. And it was a very Magic the Gathering like game. Like there were plenty of sweepers to deal with the spiders as well, so it never felt oppressive. The Alliance? Okay. I guess I could FLAMMPANZER one of these and finish this another one of these off with joint operation. Oh shoot, I'm a dummy. I forgot that I had NACHSCHUB on the table. I definitely would have played like probably encircled this or played the 22nd Infantry. Whoops. That was a mistake. Do we just encircle? Man, what is with these, what is with this token deck running this card? 1, 2... we can't move this up and this and Blitzkrieg now. I don't think we have enough units to get through this now. Remember when I didn't spend my credits appropriately that previous turn so I could draw infinite cards? Man, that's depressing. Yeah, if we had this thing on the field, like this would have been moved up this turn too, because we have an extra credit. And we would have drawn 2 to 3 more cards. I can't remember how many turns ago that was. If we lose this game, it's definitely because I forgot how busted NACHSCHUB is. I'm sure he's about to like... Yep, he's about to kill this unit too. Fuck. Alright, well this is looking for KOMET or joint operation now. Wow, he even found that to deny me the option of taking the front line with this and drawing cards. Never didn't have it. The draw Panzer is pretty crazy. I could also see it being nerfed in that they just like take away some of its stats, because I think it's a bit too efficient of a card. Yep. Yeah, I could see it. I could see that card losing a point of defense, as well as FLAMMPANZER losing a point of defense. NACHSCHUB needs to be changed and joint operations shouldn't hit face, and I think then maybe Germany's in a more reasonable spot. And then we just need to actually boost the other nations. All that said, I have to say I think the game's in a pretty good spot right now. I like the balance, like I like the format overall. I do think there are just some things that need tweaking, but overall I'm pretty pleased with the balance of this game, personally. Germany is definitely overplayed. There's no question about that, but I think the balance of the nation is fine, like outside of those few cards potentially that we've mentioned. It's just that the other nations, I think, need a bit of a boost. And also, if it was up to me, I would just completely delete unfun mechanics like resistance. Yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, personally speaking, Germany's my favorite nation to play just because I really like their cards. A lot of their cards fall in this kind of like mid-rangey spot, and like I just find them very entertaining. I think that was better than blitzkrieging there that turn, just because it gives us more options. Do they die this turn? No? Guess we do this. Yeah, Germany and Soviets are my two favorite nations, I think. Because I like mid-range. Mid-range is fun. Bye, friend. See, like that game. Our opponent just kind of did nothing and died. Like, it wasn't a very fun or interesting game. So it's just like, I don't know. All the power to you, though. If you like playing against and with resistance, all the power to you. Wowza. What do we keep here? Probably want that, actually. It feels bad getting rid of these elites, but I mean, I don't know if I can justify... Then we're also against Stalingrad, so maybe maybe I actually have to get rid of these. This is kind of speculative, though, without a good start. I think I'm just supposed to throw back all of this, honestly. Man. That's unfortunate, to say the least. Probably going to get rid of the 0 operation cost one, yep. He's pretty much dead to, ooh, that's a spicy hit. How much damage is this? 3. It's pretty good. Alright. Blitzkrieg, please. No Blitzkrieg. We're probably just dead then, because he's going to get to heal a bunch with this card. It's probably going to get us out of range. So close. I think the French mobilized cards are very fun. They're just not very good. That's the problem. Wait, what? Our opponent kind of made a big mistake there, not just ensuring to take out all of our units. We would have still won anyway because of joint op there, but yeah, and like they're neat and they're fun. And the fighter that grants any unit mobilized, the 2/3 fighter for 2, no, I think it costs 3. That it's kind of neat too. Yeah, like I think the mobilized units, if they're below rate the turn they come down, but then they're like on rate or a little bit better when it triggers once, and then they start becoming good with 2 triggers, like crazy good with 2 triggers, I think that's a good spot for mobilized to be. Just because it's such a slow slow mechanic otherwise. I don't know that I want to keep both Hellcats. Great card, we'd love to draw them, but I don't think we keep them in our opening hand. I just got an email to be invited as a Twitch affiliate. That is awesome. We're definitely going to look at that email and start doing the process to getting that done. That's really awesome. Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming and hanging out. It's definitely thanks to you guys for checking out the streams I do as regularly as you do. What do we want to do here? Play the Whirlwind, maybe? You monster. I think we actually just bounce that back to hand with this. It gets to pin something again, but we take away most of it, like most of what actually is making it lethal, and it actually can't kill any of these. Plus we get to kill it with that. I think I'd rather move this up. Then play this and start drawing cards. We'll need to do that soon, though. Although, I wonder if we can kind of hold back a little bit, because we're getting close to the sweepers part of the game. Okay, well now that we've drawn another one of those, we can kill this. Start attacking here. It's annoying, but not the worst. This is a pretty good draw. Yeah, I think they're good. I think they're pretty decent. I think I don't much care for some of their mechanics that make them good too much, but I think as long as they don't like oversaturate the game too much more with some of these credit denial cards, then I think it's okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We can't fire with everything, but I still think it might be right to play this. He's playing like he doesn't have a sweeper, right? Like he wouldn't have done that turn if he didn't. If he had the, if he had carpet bombing. He could be sandbagging carpet bombing, I suppose. Giving me this back seems questionable. Can we kill him this turn? If this finds a Blitzkrieg, we definitely can, but outside of that, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 of these attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can get him down to 7. Might not want to bounce that air unit just yet. Maybe I do. Ah, he had the interception. Okay. That might not matter because he gave us back the autocannon. We'll see. Yeah, well, that's game then. All right. Alright, we've been playing this deck for just over an hour. I know I'm normally like to stream till 1 o'clock, but I need to go a little bit earlier today, so I'm going to end it here. Thanks everyone for stopping by, and hope to see you guys tomorrow and Wednesday for the release of KARDS Theaters of War expansion. Take care, everyone. See you later.